this 61st meeting between Notre Dame and Purdue. Craig Hendrick, freshman out of Godfrey, Illinois, will kick it off for the Irish. Purdue will have first possession with Tony Vinson, number 33, and Robert Oglesby, number 10, the deep people to receive the ball for the Boilers. They play on grass at Purdue. The end zone this time, picked up by Vinson at the 6-yard line, and he found the crack. And he gets a big return back across the 40. So the Boilermakers jumping up and down on the very first time one of theirs touches the ball. Both teams quite green. Lou Holtz, if he gets a 2-touchdown lead early on in this ball game, is going to play a lot of people. He brought 87 over from South Bend, and he wants to play them because he needs to season people for down the road to help in the depth. And they have an awful lot of young people. But so is Purdue young. At quarterback, Steve Letnich out of Valparaiso, Indiana. Sends a man in motion. The Irish move a little bit in the secondary. Looked like a check-off on Letnich's part. Steps back, quick to throw. Picks up a block on a pulling lineman. Pass complete to Calvin Williams. And Williams gets across the 40 and up near the 46-yard line. Here's your starting alignment offensively for the Boilermakers. At quarterback, it is Letnich, as we said. He is a junior, a transfer from the Air Force Academy. The backs are Sparkman and Benson, with Williams and Harris the wideouts. And it is 2nd down and 4 for the Boilermakers across their own 45. Irish showing a 4-man front right now. Letnich fumbles the snap, falls on the ball, keeps possession of it, and will lose the better part of a yard. The offensive front for Purdue is pretty good size. The tackles running 280 and 305 in Brenneman and Hitchcock, with Schmidt and Sigelski at 265, the guards, and Dressel, the center, is a sophomore at 270. It'll be 3rd down and 6 now, close to 6 for Purdue after the fumble. They'll motion on virtually every play. And Letnich back to throw it, gets it away, sideline, and he threw it high and far and into the crowd. He had a man over there for a moment, but there was pressure coming, and he just unloaded it up in the seats. So to bring up 4th down and a punt for Purdue. Sean McCarthy came here as a quarterback. Right now, he's one of the best punters in the country. 2 years ago, we saw him start at quarterback for the Boilers down at Iowa. His average, 43.5 yards. Ricky Waters scored one from this formation a year ago. He's one of the top punt returners in the country. He's going to have a chance. But pretty good coverage here by Purdue as they put him down around the 22-yard line. And McCarthy did not get off a very good kick. He's not happy with it. He's snorting a little bit as he comes off the field after a 38-yarder. Didn't get all of it.
Akers said yesterday that he was going to go ahead and kick to Waters on the punt returns, but on the kickoffs, he was not going to kick to Ismail, the outstanding return man, Rocket Ismail. He was going to kick away from him, but he felt like kicking the ball high to the punter, the punt return man, would be all right.
So the Irish with their first possession. Their record 3-0 on the season. And they give it away to Waters, bouncing around, looking for daylight, moves for about 5 or 6 up near the 28-yard line. The offensive unit for the Irish, Tony Reischer, quarterback, the key man. Anthony Johnson and Ricky Waters are the setbacks. Johnson has had big days in 3 previous games. Ismail and Eilers, the wideouts. The offensive front, Brown, Brenneman, Ryan, Helt, Grunhard, and Brown. And that's a very, very good offensive front. It's still young, and it's getting better. And the handoff goes to Ismail, who moves into a running back spot from his wideout, and he is close to a first down. Defensively now for Purdue, they go this way. Leggett, Donzel Leggett is stepping in to play a position that a lot of hope held for him there. He and Dotson, I think, they got to be active today for Purdue to have much of a chance in controlling the Irish offense. Mooney, Trebe, and Schwantz are the linebackers, and the secondary, it will be tested down the middle, you can be sure, because Notre Dame is going to have an edge in foot speed and an edge in size when they send the tight ends. On third down and short, they run the ball, just root it out, and get the first down as Anthony Johnson, the fullback, carries it. Joining us this week on the sidelines as our reporter is Jack Arute.
And Keith, just before the start of this event, Coach Fred Akers had a talk with his team. He wrote 4 sentences up on the board. The first was start the job. The second was 60 minutes. The third was have fun. And the fourth was attack. He says, fellas, how many chances do you get to play before the #1 team on national television? Have a good time with it and play loose.
Jack with us today. Mike Adams is out on the West Coast. He's going to be the analyst for our coverage of the Southern California-Washington State game, which follows for some of you in the West. On first down from the 35-yard line, Ricky Waters, a junior out of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, picks up, maybe 2, as Keith Mooney, a sophomore from Rockford, Illinois, brings him down for Purdue. Make it a 3-yard pickup. Call it second down and 7. At the 42-yard line. This is what Lou Holtz told me last night about how teams are playing the Fighting Irish this season.
But we find that people are really playing this for Tony Rice. I mean, the ball snapped, and they're sort of really running to the sideline, and they're giving us up the middle. We cannot be as one-dimensional as what we have been. We have had some degrees of success up the middle, but we've got to be able to throw the football.
Ismail in the backfield now as the Irish go to the wishbone set on third down and 3. And they've got the first down. Ismail carries. He weighs 175 pounds, but he accelerates so quickly. In one step, he's almost at full speed, so he turns that 175 pounds into a missile. I mean, he hits you like a 200-pounder.
And he does. And he was a running back in high school, so to bring him from wide receiver and put him in the backfield, he's very comfortable there. Holtz says he is not a track man playing football. He is a football player that just happens to run track.
Tony Smith, 83, checks in. Out. That's the change for the Irish. And Rice back to throw it. Gets it away to Waters. Ricky was a wideout a year ago, and his experience as a wide receiver has made him doubly dangerous swinging out of the backfield. Jim Schwantz, the linebacker, ran him down, but I want to tell you something, folks. There isn't a linebacker in the world that can run and handle Waters.
It's a good point. There's a look at Schwantz. He's going to have to be covering those backs, and particularly Waters, man-to-man all day. Purdue plays the majority of man coverage in the secondary. They've got good corners, but that means the linebackers have to cover the backs. First down Irish, Purdue 38-yard line. They're grinding it out. Here's the big man, Culver. And Culver loses the football, and Purdue's got it. Culver, the 220-pounder, lost the football as he went down, and there were 2 Boilers right there to pounce on it. This is what worries you. It drives you crazy when you go on the road. It doesn't take much of a mistake, just a little one here and there, and it can take away your momentum. Well, you want to take the crowd out of the game, and Notre Dame had 4 turnovers in their game last week against Michigan State. That ball just barely is out before he hits the ground, and a big turnover for Purdue. Boilermakers get it at their own 34. Here's Letnich. Pitches the ball back to Tony Benson. Benson is all the way close to midfield before they get him down. There's a look at what happened last week. Holtz was concerned that the Boilermakers may put in the option, which Letnich ran right there that last play. Purdue has had a week off, an extra week to prepare for Notre Dame. Letnich was a high school option quarterback and ran the option when he was at Air Force. They marked Benson out at the 42 where he hit the chalk.
It's a first down for the Boilermakers near the Notre Dame 46-yard line as Jerome Sparkman, a 215-pound junior from Indianapolis. Six-yard line. We're having a little trouble here with our headsets and our audio system. It just blew up on us. But we'll fetch around here and fix it as best we can. First down for Purdue. Letnich on a little delay hands it off to Sparkman again. And Sparkman fumbles the ball. The Irish get it back. Stan Smagala, number 29. Pounces on it. And now they have exchanged turnovers. Clock stops, 9:23 to go, first quarter, no score. Expression building for Purdue, and it bears the name of Dr. Fred Hovde, who was the president here. Outstanding man. First down for the Irish now as they get the ball back on the turnover at their own 45-yard line. Tony Rice back quickly, throws to Ismail. Ismail gets a block on the corner. And he's on the Purdue side of the field at about the 45 and looks like he might have a first down.
Just a wide receiver screen, another way for Rice to get the ball to Ismail. Ismail broke a couple of tackles before he was finally brought down.
And out there in the middle, pushing people around, making a little crack for Ragib is Pat Eilers, number 13. Holner is back in. Rodney Culver. Steve Bellis came to Notre Dame as a quarterback, is also on the field, but he's now playing the flanker position. And he's a big, tough guy, 6'4", 215 pounds. He's out of Phoenix, Arizona. The chains are on to check the first down. It is a split officiating crew today, part Big Ten and part Central Independent College Football Officials Association. Ron Winter, the referee, is the Big Ten. Umpire Carl Crawley is from the Independents. Head linesman Jim Mullendore, Big Ten. Jerry Height, Big Ten, the line judge. Field judge J.W. Sanders. Side judge is Roger Paramore. Out of the Independents Association, the back judge is Paul Bellina. Didn't quite have the first down. Or did they? Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Boilermakers all standing up on the sidelines. You can't see from here. Rice going down the line, hands the ball off to the up man. That'll be big fullback Anthony Johnson. Anthony is down around the 40-yard line, just over it. And that's a pickup of about 5 yards.
Talking with Phil Bennett, the defensive coordinator, yesterday for the Boilermakers, when I asked him what scares you most about the Notre Dame offense, he first mentioned Anthony Johnson, the big fullback. He says, you've got to stop the fullback. I was a little surprised. I thought maybe Rice, but Akers said the same thing. They're concerned about the fullback up the middle.
It's Rice this time. And number 55 was right where it's supposed to be, Darren Trebe. And he is a very active, relentless pursuer from that middle linebacker spot.
Last year, Trebe led the Big Ten in solo tackles as he plays off the block of Help, number 55. This is what Purdue wants to do, string it to the sideline. As long as you can string that play to the sideline, you have a chance for the pursuit to catch up.
All right, Ricky Waters is back in. Ismail and Smith are wide to the bottom of the picture for the Irish, and Rice back getting some pressure. Now he's got daylight in front of him. His pass is away, and the man is wide open, tight end Derek Brown, and Brown is inside the 10-yard line. So they got him spread out, and the tight end, Brown, just absolutely got lost, and the big guy from Merritt Island, Florida, rambles down to the 10.
What's a crossing pattern? Top middle of your screen, you see the tight end crossing. He is not the number one receiver. Rice does a nice job of coming back. He tried to get that ball to Ismail. Not an easy man to bring down.
Tony had his druthers that time. He could have run for a while, too.
He had a lot of choices.
Yep. It's at the 10, and it's first down. No score first quarter at 7:15. And this is Waters. to about the 6. Ricky Waters playing now at 200 pounds. Culver is at 220. And Setzer, the sophomore out of Gary, Indiana, who will be the third tailback, is at 180. But the first two guys at that position are pretty good size. The messengers for Lou Holtz today are Bellis and Ismail, the flankers, and Bellis is way wide up there at the top of the picture. Into the middle, Johnson, touchdown, Irish. Anthony Johnson walks into the end zone.
It's great blocking up front. Helt, 55, the center, is going to get a good block on Trebe. Ryan, 52, and Grunhard, 75, get good blocks.
And Notre Dame has gone to the lead at 6:38, first quarter. Hendricks, the point try is good. So the Irish on the board, 7-0. Special ceremony for the astronauts yesterday. 8 of the colleagues of Richard H. Peterson, who is the head of NASA now. Peterson, the principal speaker here. There were 8 space shuttle astronauts, Purdue graduates, receiving the Engineering Astronaut Alumnus Award. So big celebration yesterday. Their participation in it certainly obvious for the Purdue folks. This is Tony Vincent, just short of the 5. This time he runs out of room early at about the 15-yard line. Brett Akers yesterday, and talking to him, obviously the thing I wanted to hear him say something about was rebuilding, and he said this.
There's no doubt about it, Keith. Our best football players are our freshmen and sophomores. They're eager to improve, and I think that's a big step for us.
Rebuilding from the bottom, and it takes time. Irish leading 7-0. Purdue goes to work, first down from the 15-yard line, and they send Vincent in motion. Letnich, a little pop, drop off, and grabbing him and pulling him down. Jerome Sparkman with the ball, and he got about one step. He couldn't break the grasp of one of the down defenders for Notre Dame, Bob Dahl. Devon McDonald, Bob Dahl, Chris Zorich, Jeff Alm, and Kowalkowski are the big people playing defensively. Scott, one of the improving players as a junior. Don Grimm and Ned Bolkar are the linebackers. And a very good secondary there. Very good one. Very quick one. Letnich keeps it. Has to turn right back into Zorich and his pals, and Dahl, Zorich, Alm, all there, and it's a bang, bang, down he goes.
Dahl, 93, reading the option very well. Having none of it, Letnich coming down the line, as I mentioned, he was a high school option quarterback and didn't get much done there.
Michael Smalls was also in, the extra backer on that play, the sophomore out of Rialto, California. There'll be a lot of people playing today. Irish are leading 7-0, and it is now third down and 10 for Purdue. With that motion, they get trips to the top. That's 3 wideouts. The pass is thrown and almost intercepted. He's very lucky to get that one back because George Foreman, the sophomore out of Palatine, Illinois, was right there. And George almost pulled it in. George came over as a quarterback, but he's going to play a defensive back position for the Irish during his career. Sean McCarthy's in to punt on 4th down for Purdue. First kick was a 38-yarder. Not up to his average. Here they need a big one.
And Notre Dame figures to get good field position and look for a return here if they get an opportunity to get some yardage out in front of the kicker.
Well, he still didn't get it. Waters has to come way up, and that will spoil the return because Purdue is downfield to cover it. So it took a high bounce, and one of the Purdue men was right there to grab it and put it down after a 41-yard punt by McCarthy. We're away. Lou Holtz was drawing pictures.
He wasn't drawing any new plays, Keith. Probably just an adjustment to a play they want to run or to something that they've seen in the defense for Purdue. You don't draw new plays on the sideline at this juncture.
First down from the 44 for the Irish. Rice straight back, pitches it out to Ricky Waters. 2 men in front of him, and he picks up a first down. Steve Jackson, cornerback on that side, the boundary side, finally brought him down.
Here we are right here, an option screen. The receiver is just going to flare out to the side. Now watch the offensive linemen as they'll come out here. Rice has the option to throw the receiver downfield, or if he's covered, to throw it to the back out into the flat. He looks downfield. The receiver is covered, throws it behind the line of scrimmage. The offensive line gets out there well, gives time for his linemen to get there and throw their blocks.
And first down at the Purdue 46. Rice gives to Anthony Johnson. And Johnson will pound it to 3 yards to the 43. That'll go down as a pretty fair-sized upset if Harvard beats Army.
Yes, sir. Jim Young, the head coach at Army, used to be at Purdue. As you look at rushing, they're 257 yards, ranked 11th. They average 91 passing, so they're heavy on the ground.
They just gobble up the clock when they can get it, when they can run at you like this. We're down to 4 minutes in the first quarter. Irish leading 7-0, and Tony Rice turns it upfield. And Rice from Woodruff, South Carolina, runs the ball down to the Purdue 28-yard line, and Anthony Johnson comes up hobbling a bit after throwing a block back around the 40.
Well, Rice is no question the man that makes this offense go straight down the line, sees a gap to the inside. He's a quarterback, but actually he's a fourth running back in that backfield. Takes a good hit there. Man is 19-2 as a starting quarterback at Notre Dame.
The Holco replaces Johnson, and firing in, number 40. Chiganina makes the hit for Purdue. Good right.
Downed by Jeff Chiganina.
Chiganina shot the gap. One of the guards pulled, and he was right there. Purdue had a great opportunity on its first possession after Notre Dame had fumbled. Gave it back on another fumble, and Notre Dame has taken advantage ever since.
Boy, for Chiganina, that was a look what I found. I mean, Jeff just jumped up straight up in the air when he found there was nobody in front of him. Second down and 13. Rice back has all day, and Field in front of him. Throws instead. Tight end Brown. Second catch. Inside the 10. First down Irish.
Man coverage in the secondary. You have to get a rush, some pressure on the quarterback. Right there, 86 going to your left. He's going to run away from his defender, and when you have a mobile quarterback that can buy some time, it's not bad coverage. He's only a yard or two behind him, but when you have that much time to move around, it's tough on the defensive back.
Yeah, but the strong safety, Rick Smith's 5'9", and Derek Brown is 6'7", 235.
Yeah, Smith is in there to play the run, not the pass.
That's right. Ricky Waters slashes inside the 5, down close to the 3-yard line at 2.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. It'll be second down and goal, and call it the 4-yard line. Oh, just touching the inside of that 4-yard hash mark. Out of the wishbone, Rice keeps it. Touchdown, Notre Dame. And you can tell the Irish band is not here, but there's a goodly crowd of Notre Dame faithful here. Probably bought all the tickets that they could buy. Now that they get their 14-0 lead in the first quarter, a 2-touchdown lead, you got an Irish player hurt. That's Mike Held, the center, who's shaken up, and you've got a time taken right here for Mike. And the first man sprinting onto the field to have a look at him was Lou Holtz. And I'll tell you why, because he is a critical performer.
Watch the left guard pulling to the left of your screen. That's 52, Ryan. Makes a nice block. Knocks Scales back into the end zone, and Rice goes in untouched.
Looks like Mike Helt will be all right. McGuire will come in and handle the snapping job right here for the Irish as Helt leaves. And it is Craig Hendrick in for the extra point try, his second of the day. He's 9 for 9 in PATs so far in his career, this being his first year. Little chip shot is up, and it is good. And so the clock stops at 2:04 to go in the first quarter. And the Irish are right on schedule. They lead by 2 touchdowns. We'll introduce you to that big fellow on the left there after a while. It's quite a story to all of the color that goes with football here at Purdue. Hendrick's kick to the goal line for Tony Vincent. Gann finds daylight on this side of the field just like he did on the opening kickoff. And he runs the ball back across the 35 to the 37. And that's where the Boilermakers will go to work. This week on ABC's Monday Night Football, you got Mike Ditka and his unbeaten Chicago Bears hosting the Philadelphia Eagles and Buddy Ryan. And if you know anything at all about football, you know that Messrs. Ditka and Ryan have been known to swap a few phrases. But they're also coaches of 2 pretty dadgum good football teams.
That was a fog bowl, wasn't it? Fog bowl last year in the playoffs?
Yeah, it was.
The fog rolled in.
9 o'clock Eastern Time, Monday night on ABC Sports. Steve Letnich lets it go. Intercepted. Had to be. Through it. There was double coverage. Todd Light comes down with it, and the Irish have the ball again.
Well, it's a poor read by Letnich. He's trying to get the receiver who's running a route down here. All these linebackers will just go drop down the zone, and Light right here will drop straight back and make the interception. Watch the top right of your screen.
The Irish will go to work from the 39-yard line. And the quarterback is Rick Myrer with a 14-0 lead now. You're going to start seeing the young people. Number 40 is Reggie Brooks, the freshman out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, carrying the ball from the fullback position.
Myrer is just a freshman, a true freshman. His #1 quarterback last year out of high school. He and Brian Forte, young man who went to the University of Miami, were the top 2 quarterbacks coming out. He was the Indiana Player of the Year. Led his team to the state championship.
He's from Goshen. Mahalko comes back now, and Brooks is out for the Irish. And here's Myrer rolling out, looking for his first pass. Decided not to let it go, and will be taken down at about the 40-yard line. Here's Jackaroot.
Let's update you on the condition of Mike Helt. He hyperextended his left knee. They say that he should see more action before the end of this first half.
Thank you.
I think it's smart on Holtz's part to get this player, some of these players in here while the game still has some meaning. It's the 3rd or 4th series for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Myrer is in the ball game in the first quarter when it does mean something.
He's got Pollard in at wideout. Sandry, Gorman, McGuire, Yurkovich, and Allen on the front. And Myrer straight back, lets it go down the middle. Incomplete. Off the hands of Ray Griggs. Ray had a half a step on the Boilermaker defenders, but Steve Jackson got just a piece of it, it appears.
Well, the throw was right there. Jackson.
He didn't touch it.
No, he didn't. He missed it. But Jackson and Kelson, the 2 corners for Purdue, are 1 and 2 in passes broken up in the Big Ten, and they should be because they play a lot of man-to-man coverage.
And Hendrick is in the punt now on 4th down. That was very close. Little pressure on Hendrick. And no flag. There's a little bump and he goes down, but no flag. Purdue will have the ball at just short of the 25 as Calvin Williams, when he went down, had the ball rolling under him. But he was down just short of the 25-yard line. Time just about gone in the first quarter. Here's Jack again.
Keith, as you know, probably the most difficult time for any coach is when his team is down by 14 points or more. Well, Coach Fred Akers has told his team, I want everybody up off their seats. I want them in this game. The only people that are sitting down right now continually are the team that is resting between plays. In this case, the defense.
Again, you have motion with Benson. That puts him in 3 wideouts at the top of the screen. Handed off to Sparkman. And a couple of yards running over the left side. Now, defensively for the Irish, they've still got the big boys in there. Dahl, Zorich, Alm, Pawlikowski, and Devon McDonald. We played one. Notre Dame leads Purdue 14-0. Put the ball on the 26-yard line for Purdue as we go to the second quarter of play, and the Irish leading by 2 touchdowns. Well, it's second down and 9. Steve Letnich, option, whistles, and penalty flags. Benson had the ball. May have somebody starting a bit too soon. First quarter numbers.
Take a look at the bottom. The time of possession heavy in favor of Notre Dame. Purdue in the turnover department has 2. You can't do that as a big underdog and expect to upset a #1 ranked team. Notre Dame passing for 86 yards and rushing for 72. Many times has Notre Dame passed for more than they've run for in a game, let alone in a first quarter. But that is because of the man-to-man coverage, the big plays that there are in the secondary for the Purdue Boilermakers.
Tony Rice was 5 out of 5 with those 86 yards. Letnich on an option, throws the ball behind the Purdue back. And the ball goes onto the sidelines, and Purdue will retain possession. Jerome Sparkman was the trailer, but Letnich was being eaten alive about the time that he let the ball go. Notre Dame getting fierce defensive penetration now. And if you can't run, you can't play defense in Notre Dame. Barry Alvarez, the defensive coordinator, put it this way last night.
We try to emphasize that, and we recruit that way. And if you look last year, we brought in approximately 8 linebacker types. They may not all play linebacker. A lot of them will stay there, but some of them may end up going down, like a Chris Zorich or Jeff Alm and that type of people.
And you take a linebacker and put him in defensive tackle and middle guard, he becomes a very fast player, and that is intercepted by Jeff Alm. And Alm scores. Touchdown, the dream of a defensive lineman.
Well, he's had this dream many times because he intercepted 3 passes last year. You just heard Barry Alvarez say, was a linebacker in high school when he came to Notre Dame. He's 6'7", 270, and pretty good hands.
And it'll go down as a 16-yard return. Big Jeff butterfingered that thing like it was a hot rock for a while before he finally collared it. But once he got it in his arms, like bringing a tree down. Kick is good. So Hentrick out of Sexton's hole at 14:44 makes it 21-0 Notre Dame.
Let's go back and take a look. Letnich drops straight back and then rolls out. It's a design play. Nobody is open, and then he makes a big mistake as Zorich is the man that causes the interception. Letnich is a tough young man. It's a piece of the tackle, but it's a little bit too late.
Hentrick will kick it off for the Irish, leading 21-0 with Benson and Oglesby deep. And this will be Oglesby up around the 8-yard line. Up the middle he comes to about the 27. Coming Coming up after our ball game, some of you will see the Miami Hurricanes at Michigan State. That may be important. It's at East Lansing.
That should be a good ball game.
I'll tell you, there'll be some big uglies butting heads in that one.
Yes, they will.
Southern California is up at Pullman against Washington State in a game that could echo the rest of the Pac-10 season as well. So those two games will be on regionally. So check your local listings for the game in your area. You see the penalty flag, an indication of illegal procedure there.
That's a pretty strong graphic right there. Holtz 50-8 with 3 ties versus opponents when he's ranked #1. And Lou has an outstanding approach. He's a great teacher. He's a motivator. He's a leader. You know, he recognizes talent and knows how to, you know, he changes positions. Who just intercepted that pass, was a linebacker. Now he moved the defensive line, and he's done that with several of the other players, and just loves to teach.
14:41 to go in the first half now, and the Irish are going to re-kick it from the 30 after the 5-yard penalty. Those numbers there between Fred Akers and Lou Holtz, of course, established in the main when Fred was at Texas and Lou was at Arkansas. They ran into each other as Southwest Conference foes. Same people beat for Purdue as they want to try to move it beyond the 30-yard line if they can. Hendrick this time really gets his foot on it solid. And it's from the 5. Here comes Oglesby. He finds a little daylight, and then he is cut down. And it was worth making him re-kick. Even though Oglesby gets a bigger lump on him, he does get more yardage out of it and brings it back to the 34.
Purdue, to have a chance to win, has to play this game without making mistakes. It's going to be tough enough to beat Notre Dame without making mistakes. They've helped Purdue the last 2 series by turning the ball over, and Notre Dame has converted those 2 turnovers into touchdowns.
Wearing the shield.
It's like Darth Vader.
Yeah, both his eyes. On first down, Letnich, little roll back and throws, and his man falls down. Again, he's throwing into double coverage. Number 25, Harris. And he fell down long before the ball got there.
You know, Keith, when I was playing quarterback, I like to look at the at the linebackers' eyes. You could tell things from it. Sometimes whether they were going to be man coverage or in zone coverage, whether it might be slanting. And I think they could read my eyes, too. And Letnich likes to wear that black shield so he can not give away his look. Now, that's what I like to look at right there. Sometimes you could tell. And Letnich likes to cover his eyes because he thinks the linebackers are reading something.
Letnich beats and turns his way to the 44, and he's very close to a first down. Brought down by Pat Terrell. Well, Pat Terrell is another guy that was moved. He came as a wideout, and they moved him into the secondary, and he's become a star there. And he is tough.
Well, it's like Barry Alvarez was saying, said he was a pretty good wide receiver. Wouldn't have gotten to play much at Notre Dame, but if you switched him to safety, a defensive back, he was a tough kid. Now he has an opportunity to start for 2 years and maybe a chance to play in the professional ranks.
Chains on. Stretch it out. Ron Winter says first down Purdue.
Letnich wanted to go to Notre Dame. He grew up in Valparaiso, not far from South Bend. Was not recruited by Notre Dame. He actually went to Air Force because that was the only Division I school to recruit him, and he dropped out after a while. And he said he really went there for the wrong reason. He didn't go there to be a cadet. He went there because he wanted to play Division I football.
From the 44, first down. Little delay, runner reverse. Here comes 88, Calvin Williams. Williams getting an escort down the sideline. Run out of bounds at the Notre Dame 31-yard line. you get them spread out like that, and you can pull a couple of big people and get them downfield in front of a wideout like that on a reverse play, oftentimes it's going to be big.
Well, they took advantage of the over-anxiousness of Devon McDonald, the young linebacker for Notre Dame.
First down, Boilers. This is Sparkman. And Sparkman is down near the 23-yard line. To follow up on what Bob was saying a while ago about Steve Letnich going from Valparaiso, Indiana to the Air Force Academy, this is what he told me when I was talking to him about why coming back here.
The military just wasn't for Steve Letnich, and my family is in the utmost importance to me. And I came back here to be with my mom and dad and have them share in my college career.
And it's second down, 2 right here. Sparkman again. First man on, missed it. Jeff came moving in, and he just stepped inside of him. And Sparkman, patient enough, goes for the first down to the Irish 18-yard line.
Letnich said that when he went to Air Force, he was one of the reasons he chose Air Force is that they played Notre Dame. If he couldn't go to Notre Dame, he wanted to go somewhere where they played him. And when Air Force went back a few years ago to play at Notre Dame, he was on the traveling squad, the first one out, dressed and on the field before the game. Nobody in the stadium. He said he just went out, sat on the sidelines. He said it was like a dream just being in the stadium.
Purdue got a little flip going here. First down on the Irish 18. Letnich got a problem. Now he underhands it, improvising the ball to Calvin Williams. He tried to throw it twice and couldn't get it away. In the meantime, number 45, Devon McDonald, is about to take his head off, and finally he just kind of lobbed it to Williams.
Take a look at McDonald. He was the one that was burned on the reverse by Calvin Williams a few plays ago. Outstanding young player, just a sophomore, only has a couple of starts under his belt. 3.5 sacks for McDonald. He is the guy that is really taking the place of Frank Stams and putting some pressure on the quarterbacks. That time, Letnich just barely gets it away.
Loss on the play of 3 yards. And they're lucky that's all it was. They'll make it second down, 13. Letnich throws it into the end zone. That'll be intercepted. Pat Terrell has it. He's wrestled down and it'll come back to the 20. And Chris Zorich made that play for Notre Dame as he took care of Letnich.
Well, they're trying to get the ball to the man going into the end zone. Terrell is here. He's going to intercept, but the nose tackle right over the middle is who is going to cause the poor throw by Letnich and the ball to be intercepted. Man at the top of your screen, not really open. Well, Letnich throws it anyway. Zorich hits him, and the ball is intercepted. Number 50 is Zorich, fighting his way through. He was one of those men that came to Notre Dame as a linebacker that Alvarez was talking about that now plays in the defensive line.
Tony Rice is back at quarterback as the Irish go to work first down at their 20. And Ricky Waters, number 72, Chris Burns, had a hold of Waters at the 20. But he broke that tackle and picked up 2 yards anyway. 11 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the first half.
So look at Chris Zorich. Had a tough upbringing. He was born and raised in the ghettos of Chicago.
Gene McGuire's doing the snapping. Mike Hell does not come back after hyperextending a leg. Second down and 8 for the Irish from the 22. Rice keeps it. Up to the 30. Looks like a first down before Jim Schwantz can bring him down.
There's Zorich, the man that made that play. You know, it's not always the guy that intercepts it that should get the credit, but the guy that causes something to happen, and Zorich did. His mother raised him in Chicago. He never met his father. They were a very poor family. His mother has been mugged a couple of times. It's a tough neighborhood. He says he grew up fast. He was ready to fight. Holtz changed that. when he came to Notre Dame. He says, you fight the opponent in the proper way. You do it incorrectly, and you're going to get penalties against us.
Back to the wishbone. Go to Waters with it. Good blocking left side. Big hole. Picks up close to 8 yards. Foot speed, foot speed, foot speed. You can't coach it.
Well, it's one of the things that Holtz really emphasized when he came to Notre Dame a little over 3 years ago. They were always big and strong, but he's got the speed now at the skill positions that you need.
Right around the 40. Might be a first down for Ismail. What is that old line about... your value to your team is inversely proportionate to your distance from the ball, no matter how quick or slow you might be. But if you're burning them up down on one end of the field and the ball's somewhere else, you're not helping anybody. But when you can get that kind of speed close to the ball. Whew.
There's a man that can make plays for you right there. 5 for 5 in the passing department.
That's the big fullback Johnson back into the ball game after a mild ankle sprain, and on the way to the 44-yard line, he picks up a first down.
The difference in this game up to now has really been the play of the quarterbacks. Letnich for Purdue not playing so well. He's 3 of 9 and 3 interceptions for 5 yards. And of course, Rice is 5 of 5, 86 yards and 30 yards on the ground.
Going deep down the pipe. Incomplete. The pass intended for Anthony Johnson. Anthony Johnson, fullback, showing you some speed there himself. I talked yesterday to Lou Holtz about a lot of things, including Tony Rice, who's kind of a special person in this whole scheme of things.
I love Tony Rice like you would your son. He's a wonderful human being. He loves people. He's positive. You can never get him down, and I'm not the easiest guy in the world to play for by any stretch of the imagination, but he's a winner. He's a competitor. He loves people, and people love him.
It's also a Prop 48. And it's very, very important for Notre Dame that he graduate on schedule, and he apparently is going to, as Greg defined. This is the tight end, Derek Brown. Away inside the 20. Here's another one of them that's just beginning to blossom. He's a sophomore, 6'7", 235.
You'll see a lot of crossing routes when you have man-to-man coverage in the secondary. Brown is just going to go across the field. All these people will come down to clear out. Rice is just going to hit him on a little pass, a short pass, an easy completion. And Brown will do the rest. Takes it on stride. Brown is 6'7", one of the top players coming out of high school 2 years ago out of Florida.
3 catches, 88 yards to Brown. First down, Irish. Purdue 18. Pitch wide. Waters turns the corner. Penalty flag. Ball down and picked up by Notre Dame, but that jaunt to the end zone will not count. There was no fumble. He was down. Treve, number 55, was involved, and it's a holding call against Notre Dame. They don't make that many mistakes early in the season.
You know, we talk about Purdue and their defense, their defensive secondary, and I asked Fred Akers about, you know, he's always been a man-to-man coverage type of guy. When he was at Texas, he always had the great defensive backs, the corners that could cover. Has sent a lot of them to the pros. It's always been his philosophy. And you don't always get burned. I mean, it's if you have a good pass rush. In fact, the Purdue defensive secondary was number 4 in the NCAA last year in pass defense. So most of the time you're pretty good with it. But if you don't have a rush and you don't get good coverage, you'll get burned for a big play.
10-yard penalty. Holding against the Irish. Moves the ball back to the 28. Tony Rice, deep drop. Little screen set up for Anthony Johnson, the fullback. And he pops it down to the 10-yard line. Ken Kushner, number 94, was right there when Johnson caught the ball, but he couldn't quite get a hold of his leg when he went by.
Like it was a middle screen or a middle delay. There's a look at Kushner, 94. He's been out for a couple of weeks, had a hamstring problem. Johnson, Anthony Johnson, the co-captain of this Notre Dame team, and he and Rice, really two of the leaders of the whole ball club.
Back to the wishbone now, just inside the 10, first and goal for the Irish. Into the middle, the fullback. A lot of whacking and cracking as he gets down to the 4-yard line. It'll be second down.
The offensive line of Notre Dame, we've talked about him. As you see, number 64, Brennan, coming back. Grunhard, the right guard, that time with a good block. 71 is Dean Brown.
Dorsey Levens, there's a new name for you. He's in a tailback now, or in that wishbone set. He's number 4. With 87, I think we're going to see all of them. Into the middle, the big guy again, right down to the goal line, and just short of it.
Calls all the plays and does a nice job of it. He's giving a little instruction there, a little coaching point as to how it should be done. But Akers on the other side. But Holtz likes to control the flow of the game by calling the plays, and I think that's smart.
Jackson, touchdown. Anthony Johnson stuffs it in at 6:35 to go in the first half. Notre Dame now 248 total yards in this first half to 63 for Purdue. The Irish have been dominant. Jim Sexton will hold now for Craig Hendrick. Sam Grunhard does the snapping for the points and snapped a little low, but it's handled all right, and the kick is good. A 4-touchdown lead for Notre Dame. They have now established absolute control of this football game, and it's exactly what Lou Holtz had in mind. He is now free to play all of his young people. Turnovers, the Irish 1 and the Boilermakers 4. And so far, the Purdue offense has been negligible. Letnish 3 out of 9 for 5 yards. It's been intercepted 3 times, but the interception is a byproduct of pressure on the quarterback. Oglesby is number 10. Jensen is number 33. Deep for Purdue. Kickoff as a hanger. And this is Vincent from the 8 to about the 28. And here's Jack Arute.
Keith, in the early 70s here at Purdue, there was a wide receiver named Darrell Stingley who looked like he had a great pro career ahead of him, but of course it was cut short. But Darrell's here with us today. Not a lot to cheer about today so far.
No, not an awful lot to cheer about, but I was down here to serve 2 purposes. I thought Purdue would play a much better game than they're playing at the moment against Notre Dame. But I'm also down here to visit my son, who's a freshman here at Purdue this year.
And we understand that he's going to be trying out for baseball. We'll talk to Darrell a little more in a minute.
On first down, Purdue from the 28-yard line. Letnich down the middle has Benson. He gives up some ground trying to get around the corner, but he doesn't get any help from Williams over there, and he's going to wind up losing a couple of yards after he had made the catch and short of the first down. Go ahead, Jack.
Well, Darrell, what do you think this team has to do to get back in this game?
Well, you know, playing against a team like Notre Dame, which is very talented, I think all they have to do is establish some continuity. You know, I don't know, they don't have very many running plays that seem to be working. But if they establish some continuity and build up a little confidence and maybe get a score, you know, maybe they can play a little bit better than they have at the moment.
Keith?
Second down and 4. Most of you, I'm sure, know the story of Darrell Stingley, who was paralyzed, injured in professional football.
What an outstanding receiver he was, both in college at Purdue and also with the New England Patriots.
Jack Arute doing our work down on the field today as Mike Adamley's out at Pullman for the Southern California-Washington State game, which will be covered in the West for some of you. Time is 5:20 to go in the first half.
4 turnovers and 6 possessions for the Boilermakers and 3 interceptions by Letnich on his last 3 possessions.
They've only had one Lyle threat. They got down to the Notre Dame 18-yard line and couldn't score from there. Letnich is hit there just as he delivers the ball. They'll get the first down, but the point is that Steve Letnich just simply doesn't have time to do much of anything. And as he delivered that pitch, Devon McDonald was taking him down.
Purdue has gone from a balanced team in the past to really there's no run for the Boilermakers at all. They have averaged so far this year 53 yards rushing per game and 226 passing, and you really need against a team like Notre Dame to control the ball with a run.
First down from the 42. Pass to the sidelines. Going out of bounds.
I find it a little bit humorous, I guess, as you see what's coming up at halftime, the Prudential halftime report with Roger Twyble and scores and highlights, and an interview with Gale Sayers, retiring his number out of Kansas. What a great player he was. But getting back to what I was saying, when Fred Akers came 3 years ago, Jeff George was here, the talented quarterback who's now over at Illinois. He left because he didn't think they were going to throw the ball. Now they got a spread, a run and shoot type of offense. George is gone, and they've got an option quarterback in Letnich running the show.
They're finding a little room on that boundary side, aren't they? That's Sparkman carrying the ball. And they've done a decent job getting that thing around the corner over there. Michael Smalls making the hit for the Irish. Smalls is a sophomore. He's playing behind Ned Bolcar, who is a senior. And you got Carl McGill, a freshman, and Dubose, a freshman, playing at that linebacker position, too. Don Grimm, who stepped into the spot vacated by Wes Pritchett, is a junior. Third down and 6. Penalty flag.
Dressel, the center, number 50, was moved from defensive line to offensive center this year, and it's going to take some time. This is the Boilermakers' 3rd game, and you just don't step into that position with all the blocking assignments you have to call, and especially playing against a good center defensive man like Zorich. Take a look at the snap right here. He just didn't get it up there. He's a defensive lineman, just moved over to offense.
No flag. Towel picked it up. Going to punt it on 4th down. 38 and 41. First 2 punts for McCarthy. This time he hits it. That looks like a McCarthy punt. That's Ricky Waters. That's a mistake by Ricky.
No question. That's a big league mistake right there.
Ball is back on the 2 after the fair catch. 50-yard punt. At 3:13 to go in the first half. Ball game is in control of Notre Dame. They have the ball now back on their own 2-yard line. And Tony Rice and the first unit's back in there with the ball at this particular location. I imagine Ricky Waters happy to stay out there, having made that fair catch at the 2. There's been some serious conversation with the head man if he'd have gone to the sidelines. That's Anthony Johnson, who's having another big day, and he punches that thing out to the 7-yard line. They're building a new indoor football or indoor athletic facility. Huge. It'll be the biggest of the Big Ten when they finish it. And the fellows sitting up there in the warm sunshine enjoying the ball game. What is it, Saturday, weekend? Is that double overtime?
I guess. you gotta have one of those facilities just to keep up with everybody else in the conference anymore.
Well, you got to hurry up because we've all seen a little snow around here occasionally, haven't we? Out of the end zone, let it go. Way downfield for Ismail. He got it! At the Purdue 46. 52 yards. And Rice was standing 2 yards in the end zone when he let it fly. So he threw that thing 56 yards.
You just have to credit Ismail around this one. His coverage is there. Jarrett Scales, number 3, is going to be right there with him. Holtz likes to throw out of his own end zone. Now watch Scales, number 3, doesn't even play the ball. Scales last year started 10 of 11 games at tailback for Purdue. They moved him to free safety this year, and he played that one like a tailback.
He did. Well, you know, Ismail is so dead dumb fast, you don't want to even ever let him get even with you if you can help it. And Scales probably overreacting to that, but if he'd have been looking at the ball, he'd have seen he was short.
Well, you know, Holtz, we did a game last November, I guess it was, SC and Purdue, and the first play of the game, they were backed up in their own end zone. He threw a long one. Holtz likes to throw long out of his own end zone.
That's good as a punt.
Well, you're not expecting to. Come on.
That's to the sidelines, and the ball slides out of bounds, and Irish possession. Ismail again, and it's good for another first down. At 1.5 minutes to go in the first half. Ball moves to the 28 of Purdue, and William Pollard checks in. William Pollard is a 6'5" wideout, 210 pounds, from Fort Knox, Kentucky. 6'5" wideout is a big target. Rice still got it. And Tony gets the first down at the Purdue 16.
Stopped by Tree Schwartz.
Well, Rice has the speed to sprint to the sideline, and he's outrunning the linebackers on the other side. Those are the men that want to string it out. Rice has 4.5 speed. Already has 44 yards in the game.
This is Waters. Grabbed by Tree. And 57 seconds as the Irish spend one of their times out. The juggernaut is rolling. It was 42-0 a year ago over at South Bend. And with 57 seconds to play and 2 timeouts remaining, it's conceivably going to be 35 here at halftime. Tony Rice having a big day. 2nd down and 7. Bootleg left. Keeps it. Just past the marker. And here's Jackaroot.
Keith, 28 unanswered points has a sobering effect on anyone, and for Steve Letnich, it's really put him somewhat shell-shocked. He's sitting on the bench here, and he just shakes his head. He isn't quite sure what to do.
Can't do it by yourself.
Some of the balls that he's thrown have been dropped, but others, you know, the one to just was a bad throw. You know, like I said before, if you're trying to beat a team as strong as Notre Dame is, you can't come out and just make turnovers and help the momentum of the other team.
Rodney Culver checks into the backfield. 1st down and goal. Purdue 6-yard line. It goes to Ismail. Now he's going to be down around the 2. His knee definitely hit the ground at the 2, and then he got a little leverage and tried to poke it in. And they'll call a timeout. 37 seconds to go in the first half. The Irish trying to punch it in one more time.
I've made up my mind. I'm going to do it. Why shouldn't I? I'm the one who has to look at myself in the mirror every morning. So before I lose another hair, I'm going to the doctor.
The man on the right is just trying to get a crop to grow.
We mentioned earlier, Akers did, how he's got his best players are freshmen and sophomores, and this is his 3rd year here. He's should have some good players in the young groups.
2nd man, Waters, and he didn't get there. So now the Irish will have to spend, well, they've got a little time. They can go without calling the timeout. Ball is just short. Pretty good defensive play by the defensive left side of Purdue that time as they went behind the 2 big people Give it to Waters this time, and Ricky is in there for the touchdown. Grunhard and Brown on the right side of that Notre Dame front. And they normally play the right. They'll flip-flop them occasionally. But they both weigh 290 pounds, and that's why those backs like to get in behind those two big dudes, because they move things around. That was a 10-play, 97-yard march. 1 second, less than 3 minutes. The kick is up. He missed it, and he got hurt. There was a Purdue man just whistling around the corner, and he rolled into, or it looks like there was some contact with Hendrick, and Hendrick hobbling a bit, leaving the field.
A recent survey of college students said they were not so interested.
Because he's going to go back and kick it off. That was the longest Notre Dame scoring march since 1987 against Alabama. There's 11 rolling into him.
Johnson comes around the side and rolls into him, but Hendrick's all right. He's kicking off.
Notre Dame went 98 yards against the Tide. That'll get dyspepsia in Tuscaloosa, just remembering it.
Yeah, even though Notre Dame was ahead 28-0, that was a big drive that Holtz will talk about with his group about starting back in your own shadow of your own goalpost and moving it the entire length of the field.
Crib kick. Picked up front by number 46, Steve Papai, who is a running back. And that's going to pretty much run off the clock. Clock stops until they get the chains in place with 8 seconds remaining. And Purdue will have a snap from its own 37-yard line. Go to the clubhouse, or do you throw it downfield?
There's no reason to go to the clubhouse. I mean, it's got 1 play left. You may as well throw it.
Pulls it down and takes off and picks up about 8 yards. The ball comes squirting loose. Notre Dame. Let's join Jackaroo.
Keith, we've already talked about the fact that Bob Greasy is a graduate of this Purdue University, but look who I ran into. His old college roommate. Fellow, they spent this freshman year together. This is Del Wilbur. And Del, tell us something we don't know about Bob Greasy.
Well, you probably don't know that he can't shoot free throws, and you probably also don't know that he couldn't hit the curveball. More than that, you may want to know that he did some practicing of his autograph.
Yeah, let's take a look at this. Del brought this up, and this is the first All-American picture of Bob Greasy. And look down here. That was where Greasy tried to sign his autograph at the Sigma Chi house. Let's go back to you.
Wilbur, I'll get you for that. No, that's true. That's not true.
Well, you were the first non-scoring point guard in Purdue history?
Hey, I was tough. I was a point guard. I was a defensive specialist. I held Cassie to 30 points. Michigan.
I went with him last night over to his fraternity house, Sigma Chi, and it's fun. That's what makes this whole thing fun to me, Bob, is having a chance to go back and see the next generation.
It's really the second time I've been back. I was injured when I was playing with the Dolphins and had a chance to come back, but it's really the first time I got the chance to come back and see a ball game. And you know, if you live in Indiana, you got to play basketball. I love basketball.
The kickoff to start the second half is popped up in the air, and Rodney Culver makes the catch on one knee at about the Notre Dame 28-yard line, and so the Irish are going to start out with pretty good field position to begin the second half of play. Here are the stats at halftime.
Well, the big statistic are the turnovers. Purdue helping Notre Dame along by turning the ball over, 1 interception for a touchdown. Notre Dame passing for more yardage than it rushes for. And Purdue not getting much done offensively.
That last play to end the half was ruled a fumble recovery, so it's 5 turnovers. And here's that pass. It's just beyond the hand of Terry Johnson and into the arm of Ismail, who's had a big day, hooking up with Tony Rice. The Irish start out with Brennan, Ryan, Help, McGuire's in there, Grunhard, Brown, Jacobs. And the backfield is Johnson, Waters, Tony Rice with Ismail and Eilers, the wideouts. Very seldom throw the ball to Pat. He just goes out there and bumps people around and opens doors for others. There's your option, and Ricky Waters is taken down on a good hit by Steve Jackson, the junior from Houston, Texas. Defensively for Purdue, it's pretty much the same group that started the ball game for them. Scarina, Burns inside of the down 4 with Dotson legged outside. The backers are Schwantz, Treve, Mooney. Secondary, Jackson, Smith, Scales, and Kelson. On second down, Rice option down the line, and he is taken down. Good play by number 48, Jim Schwantz, the sophomore from Palatine, Illinois.
Taking a look at the leaders for Notre Dame, Rice has only missed 1 pass and thrown for 207 yards. He leads the Irish in rushing, and Brown leads the Irish in yardage receptions with 88.
Ryan out for Notre Dame now, and Tom Gorman comes in at the quick guard position, or the blindside guard. Rice, only straight back, has plenty of time, goes down the middle with it. The pass is incomplete, intended for the tight end, Frank Jacobs. Frank had it on his hands, but he also had Jackson and Johnson in his ribs.
Well, the reason Jackson was in his ribs is because Purdue was not in the man coverage they play so often, but in zone, and I think that's what you have to do more of. Mix it up so that the coaching staff and those who are calling the plays don't know exactly what you're going to be in all the time. You tell me what defense you're going to be in, and I'll draw something up to beat you.
Hot formation. There are 10 Boilers up on the line. They go. They can't get it. Hendrick in to punt it. Gets it into a little breeze. The kick is taken by Calvin Williams, and Williams with a pretty good return for Purdue as he gets it up to about the 38-yard line. That's a 35-yard punt and a 19-yard return. Jim Sexton had done the punting the first 3 games for Notre Dame. Today they're trying Hendrick. Timeout. Those career totals span William and Mary, North Carolina State, Arkansas, and now Notre Dame. And Minnesota, yeah. 2 years there. 13:06 to play in the third quarter. Purdue starts from the 38-yard line. And Letnich, a little delay, delivers it outside. The pitch gets away from Benson, and Benson covers it back on the 31-yard line. Here's your scoring summary of how things have happened so far. Notre Dame got its 14-0 first quarter lead with those 2 plays, and then added 3 more touchdowns in the second quarter to lead 34-0 at halftime. Our crowd is 67,861. Second down, 17 from the 31. Letnich actually had a little time that time, and he completes the pass out to the 40 to Tony Benson. The pass was a little bit behind him, and Tony made a pretty good catch of that one. He used to call this place the cradle of the quarterbacks.
Well, they've had some great quarterbacks down through the years. Lenny Dawson is in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Mike Phipps played so many years with the Cleveland Browns, and Danielson is a standout player with the Lions. Mark Herman, Scott Campbell, of course, Jim Everett is the starting quarterback for the Rams, and Mark Herman is his backup.
Third down, 9. Letnich now delivers. And close, but not quite. They're going to come up a yard or so short of the first down. Letnich got hit, held it, then delivered, and they just missed. And as the punting team comes on. Let's go to Jack.
Steve, let's give you a contrast of what took place in both locker rooms. In the Purdue locker room, you could have heard a pin drop. Nobody said anything, only the coaches trying to come up with some plays and also some alterations to their game plan. Meanwhile, in Lou Holtz's locker room, he was trying to remind these players that it's not over yet and they've got to hang tough.
Don McCarthy's in to punt. Remember, he's a former quarterback. 38-41-50. He punts it. Whoa, he really got this one. I mean, there's a little frustration in that one. He knocked it up there above the stadium.
They hit about 8 yards in the end zone and bounced back into play.
53-yard punt. .52 to go in the third quarter, 34-0. Notre Dame with the football now after that 53-yarder by McCarthy will take over at their own 20-yard line, and Reggie Brooks is in the backfield, number 40, with Ricky Waters. Brooks is a freshman, and the younger brother of Tony Brooks, who was a starter a year ago for Notre Dame. There'll be a yard pickup. Darren Trebe, the 225-pound junior from Chicago, took it down.
Tony Brooks is the older brother, as you mentioned, and he was suspended from school. He's going to school at Holy Cross, right across the street. It's a junior college right across the street from Notre Dame, and if he gets his grades and stays out of trouble and whatever, there's a good chance he'll be back at Notre Dame next year.
Get to the meeting on time.
Yeah.
Ryan Mahalko is in at fullback now, and here's a roll by Tony Rice. Wants to go deep with it. He gets it up there for Ismail, and it is no good. And that time, Steve Jackson got up over the top and slapped it loose. Rice really didn't get it. He got too much air under the ball.
Well, and watch Ismail. Of all the other things he does so well, look at him go up for the ball and get it at its highest point. He has speed and running ability, and you know, we've documented that. But the way he goes up and grabs for the ball at its highest point, you can't teach that to a lot of pro receivers, let alone a kid that's in his second year of college.
He will not go away. That name will be around for a while in football, I suspect. Quarterback draw for Tony Rice. And a first down. Out near the 33. Terry Johnson, the man who recovered in a big hurry to get him. Tom McNeil coming across to help. Culver brings the play in from the sideline.
When you have man-to-man coverage, now watch the linebacker right here. He's going to go cover. This is the man that should be stopping the run. He's got a back to cover out of the backfield. See the fullback go to the left? Trebe goes to cover the man. There's nobody left to cover the quarterback. Another difficulty when you play a lot of man-to-man coverage.
Culver's a tailback. That's played pretty well. That time Trebe came right down the alley. And getting some contain from the strong safety Johnson. Left Culver for Trebe.
Trebe, number 55, led the team in tackles last year. You know, he is one of several really good middle linebackers in the Big Ten. Percy Snow at Michigan State, Derek Brownlow, Brad Quast at Iowa.
Upton, pitch outside, penalty flags down as Ricky Waters finds daylight and runs to midfield. Look out for a hold right here. 8:54 to play in the third quarter. As I'm watching here, I just finished reading Lou Holtz's book on last year's championship season and watching the Boilermakers struggle, and I see number 1, Jackson, coming out now holding an arm. But there are several stories, typical Lou Holtz stories, scattered through the book. And one of them stuck to me. Priest, a lawyer, and a football coach were being hauled to the guillotine. And the priest stepped up and was asked for his comment, and he said, "Cheer, cheer, cheer for old Notre Dame." And the guillotine was dropped, and it stopped 2 inches from his neck, and they released him. The lawyer stepped up and proclaimed justice for all. And the guillotine blade stopped 6 inches from his neck, and they released him. And the football coach stepped up and he said, hey, if you guys will tighten those 2 bolts over there on the left side, that thing will work right. Tony Rice sets up the screen. Ricky Waters has 2 men in front of him, and here he goes. That's the first down. So they wipe out the penalty call on the very next play and put it at the Purdue 45.
Screen pass to Waters, and he knows what to do with it when he catches it. He was the wide receiver, as we mentioned, last year. He says he likes the tailback position more. It seems like he's back home when he's playing the tailback.
But remember, he also said that having had that discipline at wideout, thought it made him a much better football player.
Yeah.
Puts the block on that side of the field. Gene McGuire to center, and he just hauls it on down the road. That's another Notre Dame first down.
When you have big play people, you try to get them the ball as much as you can. And that's one of the reasons that Holtz moved Ismail to flanker this year, to get him into the backfield some and also get him some reverses, also throw him the wide receiver quick screen. We try to get him the ball in a lot of different ways to utilize his speed.
First down at the Purdue 20. At 8 minutes exactly to go third quarter. They almost got away. There's defensive penetration for the first time in a while as Ray Griggs, a freshman wideout working out of the backfield, is brought down behind the line of scrimmage by Dennis Dotson. Moss is back near the 22-yard line. That's your top 10. In the opinion of some, I frankly think you can take the top 25 these days and leave them almost anywhere you want, except possibly for about 5 or 6 teams. And the one wearing the white shirts out here on the field in front of you right now.
I think I'd keep them near the top.
I certainly would. I don't really see any particular reason why they can't repeat as national champions. The ball goes down to the 15. Of course, it's an ankle sprain. What do you do if a Tony Rice goes down?
Right.
Well, that's why you need to be seasoning Rick Myrer, and Lou has not really played. Meyer's been in for a series, and that's it. But I imagine if they stick it in the end zone here, you're going to see a flood of fresh faces.
You know, there's no team has repeated as consensus champions, back-to-back consensus national champions in 33 years, not since Oklahoma did it in 1955 and 56.
Alabama did it, but only in one poll.
Yeah.
70 and 79.
Yeah.
Rice back. Down the middle, tight end. Down to about the 2, and the ball was rolling around on the ground. Did they give it to Purdue? Yes. So Derek Brown had a first and goal, was about 2 yards short of the goal line, and when they ganged up on him and tackled him, they knocked the ball loose, and Jared Scales comes up with it.
Tight end is the last man at the bottom of your screen. He releases to the outside. He slow blocks, then comes back to the inside. The ball does come loose before he hits the ground. Right there, the ball is knocked loose, and Scales, number 3, makes the reception. Makes the fumble.
He also knocked it out, didn't
he? He sure did.
Well, you put a hat on it, and you never know. There was a big fumble in that UCLA-Michigan game when the back had both arms wrapped around it. Hat got on it, and it came out. So Purdue, first down from its own 2. That's Sparkman to the 4. Alman Zorich, 90 and 50 involved in that tackle. And you're running at 6 minutes to play in the third quarter. Those are the games that follow this one. Depending on your region of the country, Midwest, South, and East are going to get Miami, Michigan State. The West is going to get Southern California and Washington State. They don't give him the 4. They give him the 3. Call it second down and 9. It's again Sparkman, a junior from Indianapolis. And he's across the 5 near the 7. He had a little daylight. Somebody popped his knee as he went past and fell down.
He had some good daylight. The linebackers were moving out of the way. Watch as the middle linebackers go to head this way. There's a double team here, a good seal. There's a huge hole right in here. He just stumbles as he tries to get back. Huge blocking area. He seems like he trips over the feet there of his left guard, Conover.
Letnich has called a timeout at 5:10 to go, third quarter. Purdue backed up on its own end of the field and backed up on the scoreboard as well, trying to wedge it out and get something here on 3rd down and 5, and that's a long 5. Number 99, Troy Ridgely, is now part of that Notre Dame front defense, relieving Dahl. I don't know what that man in motion is doing, except coming back across, I guess, as a receiver. There's one thrown underneath by Letnich, and that's going to be a first down, and that'll be the first passing first down in today's ball game. They threw for 10 firsts against Miami of Ohio, and also 10 against Washington. And now they, in the third quarter with 5 minutes to play, they get their first passing first down against the Irish.
And Purdue is a passing team. They don't get many yards on the ground.
Calvin Williams comes down with it, and got a little bit of breathing room now out to the 14-yard line. Andre Jones is in the defensive alignment, in and out. Here comes Letnich on an option, and he runs into Eric Jones, a freshman from Portage, Indiana. Number 81, and Eric Simeon, who is a freshman out of Los Angeles, number 85. So now it's out of the young people to get to play.
He just missed the connection right there. You saw him talking to Sparkman. Sparkman must have gone too wide for the handoff, or Letnich didn't get wide enough as he looks to the sideline for the next play.
Second down and about 7.
Nice dominating the quarterback comparison.
Penalty flags. Pass is thrown underneath, and it is incomplete. You had one down the middle. You had crossing in the middle. You had a lot of people, but no real open receiver. What do we have? Offside. Simeon. Notre Dame got going too soon. That happens, you know. You got a young guy out there, and he's all pumped up. He wants to get in there and make something happen.
Well, he's a true freshman. Holtz told us last night he has 6 true freshmen backing up on defense. That's why he wanted to get a lot of these guys in the lineup. Simeon, Sean Smith is a true freshman. DuBose has been in there. Radigan, a linebacker, freshman, has been in there.
So 3:52 to go, and second down and about 2. Letnich has a little play action, being an option quarterback, takes off with it, picks up a first down for Purdue around the 38-yard line. So
this is probably the thing that Letnich does best, and that is just take off and make something happen. He's an overachiever. He's a tough kid. He's a not a cocky kid, but very confident of his abilities. He's not a very pure passer. He's an option quarterback. We've mentioned that a few times. And for this style of offense, you know, they lost Brian Fox in the spring. After the spring, he was a starting quarterback last year. Decided that he wanted to transfer and went home to Florida. Now he's at the University of Florida. And Letnich is the one that picked up the slack.
Well, that's a bad pass there. Again, there was pressure coming. And again, the hit was made, and this time it was Ridgely, the big sophomore, Pennsylvania, who put the hit on him. And at 3:19, with the clock stopping, Notre Dame in control of the ball game by a score of 34-0.
Big Ten versus non-conference opponents last year. They were 13 and 22 and 1. This year, they're not off to a very good start either. And I think, Keith, one of the reasons is that junior college rule that we talked about a couple of weeks ago. The fact that other conferences can take a junior college transfer and play him right away. In the Big Ten, he has to sit out a year.
No quick fix. Letnich takes off. But Dahl is right there. Big Bob got him.
You know, that junior college rule, I was talking with Schembecker a couple of weeks ago, and he really feels as though that is going to be changed next year. Has to be voted on by the faculty advisors, faculty reps of each of the schools. But, you know, to stay competitive, it got out of hand a couple of years ago, I guess, when one of the schools was really bringing in the junior college transfers, playing them, and then not graduating their players. But if you police that well enough and make sure that their grades are good and they graduate, I think there's nothing wrong with them playing.
Letnich keeps it, ran through a tackle, and makes a big play out of it. Gets to the Irish 45-yard line. DeJuan Francisco and Todd Light brought him down.
Now he's getting into his comfort zone. Letnich is more of an option quarterback in a run-and-shoot offense. Here he comes down the line, makes a nice move inside of McDonald, and now he's off to the races. He's a pretty good runner. His quickness is better than his speed, but that's what you need in that style of an offense.
Is good to Dwayne O'Connor, the first time the Elkhart senior has seen the ball today, and it's good for a first down at the Irish 33. Elkhart is just down the road from South Bend. Clock showing now just less than 2 minutes to play in the third quarter. It's like Holy Cross has got another good team, doesn't it? Columbia ever win? Letnich going to throw it on first down. Down the middle. No. Calvin Williams, and he did not have it before he went down with it. It was tipped, I think, by one of the Irish defenders. But there has been catching room in the middle much of the day. But the problem that Steve Letnich has had getting the ball into the middle, those great big people that played defensive front Notre Dame.
They've been flying past him all day. As the earlier, Zorich hit him and caused an interception that was returned for a touchdown.
Well, they have to spend another timeout. And they didn't want to at this point in the game. 1869 and 100 acres. That was substantial. John Purdue died the first day of classes, 1876. Closing moments of the third quarter. Second down for the Boilermakers from the Irish 34. And that time the quarterback couldn't get away. Looked like as he started to pull away, either the center or the guard stepped on his foot and down he went. Lesniewicz is warming up now for Purdue, so we may see a new quarterback in time, and why not? Steve's butting his head against a rock wall right now, so let's see what the next guy can do. At least you give him a little playing time.
No question. I think that's a good move.
One minute to go, third quarter. It's third down and the 13. Getting it there, but what a great catch. Now they're going to call it no catch. Well, you had three officials back there all looking at each other. And it could not have been a fumble because the ball did not come loose until he had hit the ground. So it might have been a kick.
The pass was underthrown. Williams has to wait for it to come to him. If it would have been thrown further down, that's a catch. That's a catch, is for sure. Ball comes out when he hits the ground, but if the ball would have been thrown down more toward the end zone where he could have continued to run, it would have been a touchdown.
They missed that call. Very well could be first and goal, Purdue at the 5. At least it looked like he had that ball. I saw no movement or looseness of the ball as he went down.
No, it appeared that he had it when he hit the ground, and it popped it loose.
It is 4th down. And at this point in the day, you go for it. From the 37-yard line, Letnich gets it away, and it is incomplete. Intended for O'Connor and knocked down by Todd Light. The ball's a yard longer. It's a touchdown because O'Connor's out there.
It was. The ball was underthrown again. Letnich was on the run. He could have pulled up and really got the ball out there. But Light was there to knock it away.
And so as a result of the incompletion, Notre Dame takes over the football, first down at their own 37-yard line, and Rick Myra is now in the game for the Irish. See a lot of new people now. Brooks and Mahalko in the backfield. And it's Brooks out of the tailback position. Stocky fellow, 5'10", 195. Picks up a couple of yards. Derek Brown is out out at the it's Frank Jacobs coming in at the tight end, bringing a play. You got Joe Allen, Jerkovich, McGuire, Bowman, and Sandry along the front line. Cody Smith is the wideout. Myra throws it. Pass is caught by Greg. Smith tries to throw a block for him, and they get him up to about the 45, a couple of yards short of the first down. And we've played 3 quarters with the Irish of Notre Dame leading 34-0.
Osage Stadium with the score 34-0. There's not a lot to smile about for this man. This is Bob Letnich, who's Steve Letnich's dad. But it must make you feel good to know that Steve came back home in order to play in front of you and your mom and his mom.
This is a great thrill for us, and it's been his lifelong dream. We're happy for him. He's a real hard-working, dedicated, determined young guy, and we're just thrilled for him.
Let's update you as well on a potential injury on Steve Jackson, number 1, the left cornerback for the Purdue Boilermakers. He's back in this series of defensive downs. They thought he might have a shoulder problem, but he's okay.
Boilermakers show 4 down. Myra is the quarterback, turns and hands the ball to Steve Bellis, and Steve gets one of those rare opportunities to run the ball, having come to school as a quarterback, and is now playing a flanker position. Dorsey Levins, number 4, comes back onto the field for the Irish now. And so the flood of new people begin. Myra goes underneath to Levins, who's a big guy. And he moves it on to the Purdue side of the field for a pickup there of about 3, maybe 4 yards. Should freshmen play Division 1A football their first year of school? That is a question that is being pondered more seriously, I think, as the months go by. You look down on the field at a school like Notre Dame, and they got a bunch of them that are playing. But they also have the cream of the crop.
Notre Dame had 3 starters last year that were freshmen. Ismail started as a freshman, Derek Brown, the tight end, and one other player, Arnold Ali, who has since transferred to UCLA. And they've got a bunch of backups this year due to graduation and due to suspensions. As you look at the third quarter stats, turnovers still Purdue's problem. But you know, as the eligibility thing, I really don't feel as though freshmen should be eligible. I think they should be ineligible, and then maybe give them 3 more years. And at the end of those 3 years, if they're in good academic standing within maybe 24 hours of graduating, then give them that 5th year if they're in good academic standing.
Myra trying to run out of the trouble, can't do it, losing his balance and falling down eventually. And they're going to come up short of the first down there, and it'll bring up 4th down and the punting team. I would agree. I think you've got to have, if you talk about incentive, and you have to earn your way when you get out in the real world anyhow. Let them earn it.
Yeah. Well, what that will do then, though, it would take like 25 or 30 players away from your football team that are eligible to play. So I'm sure the coach is going to say, well, you got to give us more scholarships then so we can get some more players.
A little pressure on Hendrick, but he gets it away, and it's a high hanger, and the wind's going to help it a little bit. And it'll drift into the end zone, and it'll come back out to the 20. That was a 45-yard punt. All right, we'll go from the 20 now at 12:47. And here comes a new quarterback, Eric Hunter, 6'4", 200-pound freshman from Hampton, Virginia, is now at quarterback for Purdue. So he's a long-legged, rangy fellow.
And he's a true freshman, was in high school, the Virginia Division III High School Player of the Year last year.
And fumbles the first snap. And Notre Dame's got the ball. Oh, my goodness.
Well, and things go bad for you. What you have there is a guy that was in high school right there, Hunter, taking a snap from number 50, Dressel, who was a defensive lineman last year. Take a look. Ball goes through his hands. It's got to be pretty exciting, getting in your first college game against Notre Dame, down 34-0.
And the Irish will take over at the Purdue 21 with Pete Graham now in at quarterback. He's a fifth-year senior from Rumson, New Jersey. Reggie Brooks and Mahalko line up behind him. And the pitch goes out to Brooks for 8 yards. So Graham running a little option, delivering outside to Brooks. And the Irish are down there knocking on the door again after the 6th Purdue turnover. Kent Graham left school. They had another quarterback over there at Notre Dame.
Transferred to Ohio State.
Went to Ohio State,
yeah.
Yep. And he didn't see a chance to be playing a whole lot, I expect, what with Myra coming in. Second down. Brooks starting to find a little more daylight.
I think you're going to find more freshmen at Notre Dame that are up there at the starting or backing up than any other school, Keith, because they do get, as you mentioned, the pick of the litter. And they don't redshirt per se. Now, at the end of 4 years, if you apply as a senior and you're in good standing, they may grant you another year, but they don't do that in every case. I think there's only 4 or 5 fifth-year seniors on this Notre Dame club this year.
Pete Graham is, no, it is Bellis. That's Bellis in there, back at quarterback. Steve Bellis, who has been playing the flanker position in special teams, and now he's moved back into his old position of quarterback.
He and Pat Eilers, you don't hear much about them, but they are two
now,
big players on this ball club.
Graham's going back in there.
Yeah.
Pete's back at quarterback now.
Pete probably said, let me have one.
This is Rusty Setzer. And the sophomore from Gary is taken down at about the 10-yard line. And again, Treeb's involved.
Treeb, 55, plays off the block.
That was a hold.
Yeah, the block and a hold.
I tell you, the thing that's impressive about so many of these youngsters, they look right at you. You ask them a question, boy, they look right at you, and they give you an answer.
Yeah.
Yes, sir? No, sir? Really some wonderful discipline on both sides of the ball today. These two teams. 83 is Tony Smith. He's a 6'2", 185-pound sophomore, also from Gary, Indiana. And that's going to be a first down for the Irish. No. Fourth down, 4th and 2. What do we do? Kick. Hendrick is on.
Well, Hendrick hasn't had any field goals today. Lou probably wants to make sure that he gets a little work in the field goal area, special teams. We've scored 5 touchdowns. Let's let the freshman, Hendrick, another freshman, work on his field goal kicking.
From the 19 yards. Good. And behind at 9:47 to go in the ball game. 37-0 Notre Dame. Irish will kick it off now as Vinson and Oglesby go deep. Hendrick has been doing all the kicking today, including the punting. Vinson at the 4. This time there was no door on this side. It had a couple of decent runbacks over here, but not this time. Here's Jack.
Keith, one of the long-standing traditions here at Purdue are the Silver Twins, two Lorettes that are actually twins. Lanny Barnes and B.B. Barnes from Georgia are the Silver Twins in 1989. But if you look at Lanny's ear, you'll see a number 55 on her ear. That is from her boyfriend. And he wears that. Darren Trebe wears that during the week, but on Friday nights he gives it to his girlfriend. He takes it back after the game. He wears it in his ear during the week. She wears it in her ear on the weekends.
Say what?
Who are you talking about, these young men that look you in the eye and give you a straight answer?
Hunter fumbles the football on the second snap he handles, and once again, the Irish have recovered it. Oh, my. You know, this sort of reminds me of a game between Notre Dame and Pittsburgh a few years back, when all Pittsburgh had to do to beat Notre Dame was snap the ball, and it was after Cavanaugh got hurt. Remember, Cavanaugh was a quarterback at Pitt.
Yeah, Matt Cavanaugh.
Matt Cavanaugh. And the fellow they put into the game in relief of him simply could not take the snap from center. They kept fumbling and fumbling and fumbling, and Dan Devine was coaching Notre Dame at the time, and they eventually won a game they probably shouldn't have.
Well, in this case, Hunter probably hasn't taken many snaps from Dressel since he's the third-string quarterback. He doesn't get to work with that first unit very often.
That's Dorsey Levens shaking around the corner. 7 turnovers now for Purdue. 7. Levens is 202 pounds, a freshman from Syracuse, New York. That number 4 just carried the ball. He picked up 4, second down and 6. Just over the 20. Rodney Culver carried. If the game tomorrow between the Orioles and the Blue Jays has meaning, that is to say, if Toronto wins tonight, it's over. But if that game tomorrow has some meaning, you'll see it on ABC, live at 3 Eastern Time.
Boy, the Orioles have really turned it around this year, haven't they?
Yeah. Robbie's done a heck of a job over there. Frank Robinson. Myra trying to throw it underneath, and the ball is slapped down by one of the defensive linemen, Jeff Scanina. Reached up and batted it aside.
That's a real good one, Scanina.
Well, I look at that name, and I've almost swallowed it 3 times today.
Scanina.
I don't know how they get Scanina.
I don't either. I don't spell them the way they spell them there. I spell it phonetically. Oh, boy.
I got to say that I was listening to Vince. Vince Cooley's one of my favorite people in the world. He's a lovely man. He's a great football coach. And Vince was wrestling with a lot of the Samoan names at BYU. The field goal try is slapped down. Craig Hendrick will come away 1 for 2 in field goal tries, as that one came up low and was slapped down. But Vince was having a time with those Samoan names. I just rolled on the floor thinking about it. It's been a big day for Tony. I think he's through for this day. Right now, the Purdue Boilermakers trying to get something, salvage something out of this day.
You know, not only is Rice the leader, but he's one of the most popular guys on that club, too, Keith.
Jeff Lesniewicz is now in at quarterback. They tried Eric Hunter in relief of Lechnick. And 2 snaps and 2 fumbles, and now a 3rd fumble. recovered it, so Lesnowitz cannot come away with the snap. It's incredible.
It's got to be something that the center Dressel is doing. As I mentioned several times, Dressel, number 50, that ball hits him right in the hand. That's got to be the quarterback's fault. They just got to be in there getting a little nervous. They take snaps on the sidelines before they go in the game with the center and the quarterback, but it's a little bit different when you get out there. The center may leave a little sooner, may duck his rear end a little bit quicker than he does on the sideline when they're practicing. 8 turnovers for Purdue.
And Rick Myra now possesses the ball on this first snap at the 20. Roll out, pulls it down. Dives for the 10, inside to the 9, first and goal Irish.
Look at Holtz. He says he likes to try different things. There's his career record, as we mentioned a little earlier in the game. He was a winner at North Carolina State and Arkansas. Was not a winner at William & Mary in Minnesota, although he had major reconstruction to do there.
So first and goal for the Irish now. And this is Brooks to the 5. Pick up a 4.
Holtz says he's had a wish list of things he's wanted to do. Several years ago, he wrote them down, and one of the things was to be the coach at Notre Dame, which he certainly has been successful at. One of the other things he had an opportunity to do this year was to skydive. Actually went up in an airplane and tells a story about how he got out there on the edge of the plane and wasn't really sure if he wanted to do this or not.
I know the feeling. Brooks again wiggles his way and will go down at the line of scrimmage at the 5. Radigan got that last fumble recovery for the Irish. Council Bluffs, Iowa. Holtz Carmento, who runs our computers. Council Bluffs, Iowa.
Last year, Lou Holtz, after he played the University of Miami, gave Jimmy Johnson a call. After he beat Miami at South Bend, he was going out to play Southern California out on the coast for the national championship, where they were 1-2. He called Jimmy to ask him why he'd been so successful on games on the road.
Myrick throws to the end zone, and he forced it. And he's lucky to get it back. Steve Jackson was over there, and the ball was knocked away. The pass was intended for number 5, Rodney Culver. At least Rodney was in the neighborhood, and so was Antoine Lark.
Watch Meyer now. He's rolling to his left. He's going to get whacked pretty good there by Schwantz. Ooh, it's sacrificing your body in hopes for a touchdown.
No, Lark was the man. Double coverage.
Yeah, shouldn't have thrown the ball.
Nope. Well, let's see. 22 yards this time for Hendrick, and it's good. So he's 19, he's good. From 22, he's good. And from 37, deflected and short. At 6:18 to play in the game. The Irish today have had 4 different people at the quarterback position. They've had 12 different people running the football, and they've had 7 different people catching the football. Hendrick will kick it off. And Purdue, the same people back, Benson and Oglesby, and this is Benson at the 10. Oh, my goodness. He started crossfield and changed his mind, and by then the door had closed. And Carl McGill was down to make the tackle on him, and Purdue will go to work from its own 16-yard line. Letnich is back in the game for Purdue.
He's the only one that can take the snap.
That's right. Steve's sort of beat up. He's been hit a few times today. Crowd roars its appreciation for the quarterback that can handle the snap from center. And he runs it up for about 4 yards. Here's Jack.
One of the reasons why Steve Letnich had to come back in the game, Keith, was the fact that, as you said, the quarterbacks couldn't hold on to the ball. We asked him why, and he says, well, the quarterbacks and their backups, of course, don't practice during the week, but more importantly, they're trying to back away too soon because of that awesome rush off the Notre Dame team.
That and the fact that the center was a defensive lineman, and I don't think he's getting the ball up as well as he should. It seems like he's squatting a lot more than most centers do.
Well, Letnich handled that one very well under a goodly bit of duress. Pitches it out, and they'll lose a yard or so on the play. Jerome Sparkman carrying. But, you know, Notre Dame now is sending in all these fresh people, and they're just laying their ears back and ripping. And they're all, you know, you're not going to tell a kid when he goes out there, he's all pumped up and jumping up and down, the chance to play. What's Barry going to say? Go out and play soft? No way. You go out and do the best you can. And
you do that offensively and defensively.
Of course you do.
If they're on offense, you give the kid a chance to play. You go out and, hey, you know, go out and try to score. We'll tell them not to score.
The old Fritz Chrysler line. What do you propose to do? Teach him to lose? Letnich's pass is thrown well behind the intended receiver. Had no chance on the ball. And the clock stops at 4.5 minutes, and Purdue's got to punt it away. After two shaky punts in the beginning, Sean McCarthy's aired it out here the last few times. This time he's going to hit it into what appears to be a bit of a wind in his face. He went 38-41 and then 50-53. But this one's going to be into the breeze. Got it up. He's a pretty good punter. 36-yard line for Ismail. See, they tried to sneak him out there, didn't they? To give him a chance to run one back. But the Irish have the ball, first down at the 44, leading 40-0. 1950, Dale Samuels was the quarterback of the Boilermakers, and at South Bend on a rainy day, the Boilers upset top-ranked Notre Dame by a score of 28-14. And it's a moment that still binds those men together.
It really has. That team has gotten together on several occasions, and even though this is the 39th year, we still communicate with each other. It's a bond that's never been broken, and lasting friendship forever.
And Bellis carries the ball for the Irish on first down from the 44 and gets about 5 yards.
What a class guy, Dale Samuels, Keith. Assistant athletic director here at the university. Bob DeMoss, my old assistant quarterback coach when I was playing, is also one of the assistant ADs here. And, you know, you talk about that quarterback tradition. It goes back to Jack Mollenkoff being the head coach. He was here for a lot of those quarterbacks. But DeMoss was the one that really tutored those quarterbacks and brought us all along.
This is Levins. And Trebe, the tackle. As we come to the end of today's ball game, we will choose a Chevrolet Most Valuable Player of the game from each team. And for the 19th year, through the Chevrolet Scholarship Program, $1,000 will be donated to the General Scholarship Fund of each school. At 3 minutes to go in the ball game. Remember, coming up after this one, regional football action. A couple of good ones. This is Myrer, and he's got the first down. You'll have out west, Southern California and Washington State. Trojans lost their opener by a point to the Illini, but have come back to steamroller people since, including Ohio State last week. Washington State's 4-0. And then you got Miami at Michigan State in the Midwest, the South, and the East. Rick Myrer steps in, if he does, next year as the quarterback for the Irish. Lou Holtz saying he's going to have to change things a little bit because he is a very good passer. Ain't a bad runner. But by now, the Purdue defensive people are just flat worn out. Here's Jack Arute.
Keith, behind me is the oldest member of Purdue's All-American Band. They call it Monster, the world's largest bass drum. And I'll tell you one thing I always wanted to do was beat it. But there's not much to beat the drum about today with the score, but this travels with the All-American band, 7 feet in diameter, and they use cowhide skins, and they use 3,000-pound steers to get it.
Hit it like the guy does. Jump up the air and belt it.
Burn, burn, burn.
No, you're supposed to jump off the ground and belt it. There you go. Jarrett Scales covers Rusty Setzer's fumble. Rusty never got a handle on it on the pitch back. And the ball bounced right up to Scales, and the bowlers get it. First down, Purdue at 36, and Letnich comes out at quarterback.
You mentioned that Holt said that Meyer was going to be his quarterback next year. He changed a few things. Meyer can throw the ball. He broke some records of Jeff George, who was an outstanding player in Indianapolis, now at Illinois, that once was at Purdue, but the offense will have to change a little bit for Notre Dame next year.
Letnich, ball is deflected at the line of scrimmage.
He's had several passes deflected at the line of scrimmage. Letnich is about 6 feet, maybe 5'11", 6 feet.
Yeah, 81, Eric Jones, I think, was the man who got a handle on it. He's 6'6". Eagles and Bears. You could say anything you want to say about that, and it would fit.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't like each other. They're two very good football teams.
So the defenses are what jump out at you.
Really, the two defenses are outstanding.
And Randall Cunningham, what a player he's turned into be.
That's next Monday at 9 Eastern Time here on ABC Sports. As Purdue Boilermaker got lost over there on the sidelines. Letnich looking across the field, spots Earl Coleman and hits him on the numbers. And it's first down Purdue. They're trying to shake off the shutout right here at 2:18 to play in the game. Notre Dame going 4-0, having beaten Virginia, Michigan, Michigan State, and Purdue, and they're now on the road for 3 successive weeks. Here today, Stanford next week, and then Air Force at Colorado Springs. Letnich underhands it, and the pass is incomplete. Ridgely had a hold of him, and Tony wouldn't turn him loose. He had a man breaking down the middle, but just simply could not get the ball to him.
Here's a look at the Notre Dame schedule. 5 of their first 6 games on the road. Last year, when they won the national championship, they had 7 home games. SC and Pittsburgh, though. Pittsburgh could pose a problem.
But it's in South Bend,
yeah.
So is SC.
Yep. Miami in Miami.
Penn State and Miami on the road to Indy. A little muddy. And tough for Penn State that time of year. There's a screen set up, and it is no good as the ball falls away from Sparkman. Sparkman was being handled by one of the Irish linemen and could break loose. And so it falls away incomplete. Joe Paterno's ball club has not started with a whole lot of authority, but I've known that man too long and known Penn State too long and done too many games over there at Beaver Stadium to think that come November they won't be able to jump on somebody.
They'll have him ready.
Third down, ball is at the 42. Inside 2 minutes to play. Letnich gets away from one, lets it go. Incomplete. George Foreman, number 27. George was a little late getting there, but he got there in time, and the pass intended for Jim Wallace.
Just running a flag route. Ball could have been intercepted. You're right. Foreman got there just a little late.
Coleman in motion. Pass is complete. And good for the first down. Making the catch for Purdue, Kelly Turner, tight end. Seems to me there was another fellow named Turner that played here at Purdue that's become one of the better players in
Keena Turner.
Yep.
Linebacker, outstanding linebacker. Here's a look at one of the, you know, you hear about Notre Dame with the cream of the crop in recruiting. 98 is Sean Smith. He's a freshman linebacker, true freshman. Talk about him in a second.
Minute and a half to go in the ball game. Purdue's main aim now is to avoid the shot. That's the Coleman to the 20 and stretches across the 20 and a penalty flag. I think somebody might have arrived a tad late. Number 19 for the Irish, Sean Davis. George Bell knocks across the run to give the Toronto Blue Jays the early lead against Baltimore. If Toronto wins that game, they will be headed for the American League Championship against Oakland.
Defense. Automatic first down.
Ball is marked just inside the 10.
There's Smith. I was talking about him a little earlier. He's from New Jersey. He's 6'3" and 205, an outside linebacker. He was a two-time New Jersey state champion in the 100 and 200 meters. He's a linebacker. You think he's not, Holtz is not recruiting some speed at Notre Dame?
Pressure coming for Steve Letnich. He's got some green. Oh, my gosh. And furthermore, he gets up.
That tells you about the heart, the determination, the toughness of that man right there. And that's why he's the starting quarterback. Not because he can pass so well, but because he does the intangibles. He's a leader, and he's a tough kid. But to play the style of offense that Purdue has, which is 3 wide receivers and 1 back in the backfield, you really need somebody that can throw the football. And Letnich may be the best they've got right now.
And the crowd gives them a hand, and they should, at 41 seconds to play. The ball is located at the Notre Dame 3-yard line, where it is 2nd down and goal for Purdue. 40-0 Irish, and Purdue trying to avoid the shutout. Letnich pass, flat down, line of scrimmage. I think that was your fellow Smith.
81. That's,
81
yeah.
got it. One of them got it. 98 looked like he was in the area, too.
That's Jones. He's another true freshman. There must be 5 or 6 true freshmen on the field there. Jones is 6'6" and 219. He's a defensive tackle.
Well, look at that defensive front now. This group that's in there. Bryant, 6'5", Ridgely, 6'4", Jones, 6'6", Andre Jones, 6'4", Dahl, who starts 6'5", Alm, 6'7". A bunch of trees.
And Letnich is 6 foot, and he's rolling one way or the other, so he's rolling closer to the protection.
There he goes. Throws into the end zone. Touchdown. How do you do? Rod Dennis. I mean, that kid's a gamer, isn't he? He didn't lose. He just ran out of time.
Well, he's not a pretty passer, but you've seen in this last drive or two why he's the starting quarterback. This is not a pass. It's a shovel. The old shovel there, but he gets it done.
And that was after risking his life carrying the ball himself. Larry Sullivan for the extra point. And it is good. The Boilermakers avoid the shutout with that possession, and Steve Letnich should get the bulk of the credit. Rod Dennis is the man who caught it. But it wasn't Rod's body that was beat up. Probably a little practice circumstance here, but you've got receivers, running backs, defensive backs, and those kind of people all up on the front line now for Notre Dame as Purdue gets ready to kick it. And you got to figure onside. Probably won't hurt Purdue any if they practice it either, because only 33 seconds remain to play in the ballgame. And there it is. And it's covered by the Irish back around the 43-yard line as George Foreman makes the reception. So that one didn't have quite the action on it that Michigan onsider did against UCLA.
Well, they played it smart, too. The front guys, if the ball's coming hard enough, stay away from it. Let it go further on down the field and let some of the guys behind you play it. The front row then can block.
But the other thing about onside kicks, if it is a soft kick, go get it. You don't have to wait for it to come. If you're the receiving team, you do not have to wait for the ball to travel 10 yards. You can go get it.
Nice big Sunday hop, and it's inside of 10 yards. Go ahead and take it. But if it's a hard shot, stay away from it. Let it go.
Ball is at the 42 now as the Irish come up. And 32 ticks remaining on the clock with Pete Graham at the quarterback. North 11 with the ball. And Trebe has him. So down he goes. Darren Trebe with another tackle, and he's made a lot of them today. Clock ticking along, ticking along, ticking along, and the game is over. The Fighting Irish of Notre Dame continue undefeated, beating Purdue 40-7. They have now beaten Virginia, Michigan, Michigan State, and Purdue. The most valuable players for Notre Dame: Tony Rice, 12 out of 15 for 270 yards. He ran 12 times for 67 yards and scored a touchdown. And for Purdue, Darren Trebe, the middle linebacker, with 16 tackles. Purdue is now 1-2 on the season, and the Irish, as we said, 4-0. Chevrolet donated